what is like the most important thing, maybe most important thing, or several things that you want to get across to your students when you're teaching them
to be curious, and to not look only, to not check only on architecture, but to check on everything in the world. What is how the society is developing, how you live now when your parents were not living like that, and your grandparents were absolutely not living like that. What are you doing? So questioning yourself about what are your habits, how do you live, how you use the spaces, how do you do that, and to propose something for tomorrow. That means being curious, because I'm fascinated by objects that today nobody wants to speak about: cars, planes, and boats, because these technical objects are very interesting to look at and to discover how they are evolving. But now nobody wants to drive, and nobody wants to use cars. Okay, it's bad. They said that it's bad. I don't believe in that, because this is important to travel with other people, to be together going somewhere. And not only because you're in a train or in a plane, because when you're in a car, you have a little group and you can start to discuss if you do a long trip. But the people that are, maybe you don't drive, you just bike. But biking is very slow, short time, short distance.
Yes.
A car is longer distance. And when you are with 4 people in the car, you discuss on the trip.
We have an app here. It's called BlaBlaCar.
Yes, excuse me, this is French.
Really?
This app is French. Yes.
It's French. Okay, but it's an interesting name, BlaBlaCar.
Yes,
like exactly.
This is exactly that. It's blah blah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and like the best conversation that I ever had is with people that I meet.
This is why you need a car, you know?
Yeah.
You are against car, but you use it. Excuse me. You have just to think. Because you will not do that on a bike. Because when you're on a bike, even if you you travel by 2, you are like that. So you don't discuss that. I had this discussion last weekend with an old architect who, in a little place, and he had a very specific bike with 2 bikes on both sides, with a machine which is covered with solar panel on the top. It's a very strange object. But he said, because I don't want to be with my wife like that, I want to be with my wife like that. So it's interesting, because he said I can discuss, otherwise I don't discuss.
Yeah.
So it's human relation.
How do you see the relationship between the mentor and the student?
Mentor?
Or like, for me personally, what I think about what a mentor is, I don't
Nothing.
think... Really?
You don't have to listen to them. I always say that to the students. Don't listen. When I go to a school of architecture, I said, don't listen to your teachers. Do it by yourself. Try to invent by yourself, to discover by yourself. The more that you can research on yourself, okay, they give you advices, but they are not a mentor. You don't have to copy them. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, that would be maybe that's my notion. Maybe my English is bad, so maybe I switch the terms. But tutor is someone that's guiding you very strictly. Mentors,
a coach. I call that a coach.
A coach, yeah. But that's why I ask you. So you want to say that?
I don't want that my students are doing like me.
Yeah,
I'm not
of course,
interested in
obviously,
that.
yeah. You're just there to
help them.
Yeah, along the way.
Yeah.
And connecting with this topic of AI, and I also with David Gloucester, I remembered you had this interesting discussion about what is architecture school is all about today. Why would you come to school to teach when you have like internet and AI and everything? What is the role of architecture?
Not to teach, to help the students. Not to teach. We don't have courses in my school.
What? Yeah, of course.
We don't have a person which is sitting somewhere and the students are listening. This is stupid because they don't listen.
And how does this program function in your school?
They learn by themselves, and the people who are called the teachers, in a way, they are coming and explain them how to understand and how to do that and how to do that. Because this is, if you ask the new generation, you are young, but not enough young from my students. Mm-hmm. My students now are 17, 18, so they are born in the 21st century. You are not born in the 21st century.
Yes, end of 20, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So this is why. 21st century, and I always tell them, and I know that they are forgetting, when you were in the 20th century, born, you were not thinking about the 19th century. They're in the 21st and they don't have to think about the 20th. Now they're in the 21st. And they have to think what is the 21st century for them. So that means what they have to do in the 21st century. Because if you think back in the beginning of the 20th, all the big architects of the modernist way of thinking were born, and they started to invent. And to invent things, not on architecture, not only because of architecture, they were inventing because of the way of helping the people with their health. Because when you were building this huge flat with big windows, it's because to provide sun into the flats. Before, the houses were with little windows. And thanks to the pastor and all this medicine and we knew that the benefit of the sun for the health, they opened the windows. So this it had an impact. Medicine has an impact the research in medicine has an impact on architecture, in a way. And you have to think what are the development of today to make new another way of thinking architecture. So this is why.
But I still think you have to know.
I have left.
But I still think you need to know history. It's just what you're saying is maybe way you look at history, not in like a strict sense of this is what I should copy. But
you have to look what this person has done in reference to your question.
Exactly.
This is what how you have to learn history.
Yeah.
And give you references by the way people were thinking, not people the way were designing.
Yeah, also try to learn from their mistakes.
Maybe, yes, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, which doesn't necessarily mean that you or like we don't make mistakes. And
no, we all. It's because we are human, we do mistakes.
Exactly.
This is what why we enjoy humans.
What do you think architecture school of the future should offer to the students, except this let's say the background? I'm thinking also about the physicality of meeting points. For our architecture schools, we have these long hallways, like a very old academic building, but we have these very long hallways in our school, and there are windows, and students often sit by those windows and meet each other. I think we're losing more and more these spaces, and I'm thinking...
Ask Davor with my school. This is a place where everybody is working together from the first year to the fourth year. So they discuss and talk and they meet all the time.
Do they have like a same maybe how do you say you say you don't have lectures, but it's difficult for me to imagine because my school was like lectures and studios.
Because you were academy, yes. It's normal.
Yeah.
This I decided not to do. When I started to think about this school, I was discussing with some other architects. And step by step, when we were discussing, at the beginning, I was thinking doing a normal, usual school, but differently. And I didn't know what means this different. And I was looking at what was happening in the world 10 years ago, because it was 10 years ago. And I discovered that there are many schools experimenting in the world. For example, in Finland, they were experimenting not having courses of history in the schools. Why? Because they said with internet, you can search for history, and the teachers, the people who are called teachers, they are there to make you understanding what you read and how you can understand that, and why you have to search that in relation to that. So this is a kind of organizing your brain, not just repeating what you learn, but organizing your brain to understand different questions. So it was very interesting. And I saw that there are also some schools in states that they were doing the same. So I decided to do that. And I said, this is a way to teach. And we call at this time the Montessori School of Architecture, practicing by learning by practicing, not by receiving the knowledge.